Hi there, welcome to another one of my Own Your Expertise interviews. I'm Emily Crookston, owner and decider of all things at the Pocket PhD. I'm the ghostwriter for Rebels, Renegades, and Mavericks, and I love helping experts with big ideas get those ideas out of their heads and into the hands of their fans. Today, I'm sitting down with Suraj Rao. Suraj is a copywriter at Innovkraft, which is a digital marketing company. He's coming to us from India, so a long way away from me in North Carolina. Suraj, thank you so much for speaking with me. Would you like to tell us a little bit more about who you work with and what you do?
Yeah, so I work with a startup, and it's a very small team, and that's the beauty of that small team, right? Because first thing, it's a startup, and second thing, it's a small team. So there's a lot of things you get to learn, right? So even though I work as a copywriter, sometimes I may have to wear different hats. Each day is a new day.
Yeah.
It's not just a learning in terms of solving clients' problems or understanding the clients, but it's also a learning experience for us as well. And that's the kind of environment I really love.
Yeah,
So
very nice.
I think for people who are creative, I think that's the best environment to be in.
Yeah, I think so too. Otherwise, our minds just kind of wander, or we get bored,
We just get zoned out of condition to a certain framework, right?
So how would you describe your path to becoming an expert?
How I see my path towards owning my expertise or anybody's expertise, right? It is very important for us to first define our learning goals. Whether you're at a company, or you have your own business, or you're at a school, wherever you are, right? Of course, there is a certain set structure, but along with that, we need to have our own set defined goals of learning. Because when we have such broader visions of learning, what it does is it kind of helps you put everything into place, right from your deeper core values to how you take action towards achieving something, right? So the bottom line is, you need to have a clear learning goal, and it needs to keep evolving. So basically, a learning where the learning is a process which keeps evolving, and it's not a means to an end, right? It's a means and it's a process.
Yeah, I think that's a really important aspect of expertise, right? Because I think so much of the time we think of like, oh, this is a straight line up, and then when I get to the top, I'm done. I don't have to do, any more work. I can just sit on my mountain and, be happy and look around me. But, that's not how true experts ever approach expertise, or they're always learning. They're constantly learning. Yeah, very cool. How have you learned to translate your expertise for others?
I also had worked as a guest lecturer at a college. And one of the things that the students were surprised with was it was an engineering college, right? So one of the things for them was, English is a subject that is just there to chill around, right? So when I walked in, I heard people talking about punctuations, grammar, and all of that. But I simply brought in a change when I started talking about Big Bang Theory and the Friends. Right? So it was a big surprise for everybody there, right? And when I took that perspective further and saw that they were kind of responding to it, I started building a narrative out of that itself.
Yeah.
And so basically, there was no direct reference to okay, you need to master language, you need to master writing, no. But there was a usage of narrative, which kind of inspired students so much that there was one person who bunked their class, their normal class, and they sat in my class. And there was another person who actually wrote an article for Asian Chronicle, right? So basically, how I see this transferring of expertise is, we as humans, right? We are hardwired for narratives, and we are hardwired for being connected with each other, right? So one thing is, again, I will go back to the intensity of self-learning, and then how do I translate the entire process of self-learning into a narrative that kind of binds people with.
Yeah, like that whole idea of meeting people where they are, right, and then bringing them to where you want them to be. It's so powerful. It's interesting because I don't think I'd made that connection between teaching and translating your expertise in just that way. But you're right, like that's when I work with my clients and I'm, translating to them, the way that I would tell their story, or the way that, I think their book should be written, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm saying, okay, where are they and where do I think they need to be for their reader to understand and wrap their minds around? And you're right, you go to those common places, the common ground. What would you say has helped you the most in learning to own your expertise?
I think the most crucial thing with that has helped me own my expertise per se is one is reflecting
Mm.
and uh, inquiring. If you're able to reflect honestly in terms of where you might be facing the challenge, or what was done better, or what would have been done better, or what is my way of thinking, while I'm acting on a particular thing. So if we start reflecting on those things, we will then be able to find out the gaps,
Mhm.
right? The gaps that we need to cover, and being able to stay committed to working towards filling those gaps is
Mm.
where the inquiry part comes in, where you again question your own methodologies of learning.
Yeah, I think you're right, that sort of meta reflection, the reflection on what you're reflecting on, is
Yeah,
such a good way to just step outside of what you're doing and see it from that third eye perspective, or whatever. That detachment from the discipline itself is so key to recognizing the ownership that you have, right? Separating yourself from the thoughts and separating yourself from the activity itself. Okay, last question. Do you have a personal self-awareness practice? I'm sure you do. And how do you re-energize yourself, or what do you do outside of work?
when I'm not working on anything, I love reading books,
Mhm.
and I sometimes love even playing the guitar. So I
Yeah.
explore like the relations, note relations, and those kind of things. So
Uh-huh.
whatever I do, right, I love diving in deep into it. And,
Yeah.
and the other thing I do quite often is play chess.
Uh-huh. Very cool.
That's something that's always helped me, like structure my thinking,
Uh-huh.
right? Or go for long walks,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
or
Very
write
good.
haikus.
I love how cross-disciplinary you are. And I think that's important as a writer, that you are
Yeah,
like writers, good writers are curious about so many different things. And it's not that you're necessarily going to write about chess, maybe you will, but it's much more the brain activity that I think contributes to the writing. Wouldn't you agree?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. I think like if the more cross-disciplinary we are, the more easier it is for us to like wade through metaphors when we are writing things. I mean, that's the most important building structure of a very good creative writing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Allowing your mind to sort of go into these different areas and different places makes you more, I don't know, agile or something. I've really enjoyed this conversation with you. And please tell everybody where they can find out more information about you.
Yeah, I'm very active on LinkedIn, so you can always feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. So that's the platform that I'm active right now. I'm also working on other platforms, but I would say, like my immediate reach is on LinkedIn.
Awesome. Great. Well, people will find you. I will put that link into the comments, and everyone will be able to click on it and connect with you. So thank you so
Sure, sure, yeah,
much. All right.
sure. It was great talking to you, and I feel so privileged to be invited this way. And
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Thank you.